Welcome all. I'm Matt Farris, a ministerial intern here at UU Asheville. Assisting me as worship associate is Mary Alm. Thank you. On AV, running the show, a little bit behind the scenes up there, always so helpful for these services, Simon. Thank you, Simon. Lending her beautiful gifts again today and with a wisdom story, Jen. Thank you. And as always, Dr. Les is giving us his musical direction. And as a newbie, it's always really great to have somebody to confer with. So thank you, Dr. Les. And we have a very, very special musical guest today, Friction Farm. Thank you. It's my genuine pleasure and honor to serve you today. This is the space, this is the place of beloved community. For those of you online, you too are in beloved community with us, and we welcome you. Our shared values remind us that love is at the center of our lives. No matter who you are, no matter where you come from, no matter how you identify, no matter whom you love, you are truly welcome in this place. Let us all open our hearts to the spirits of love, the whole, and the divine as we practice beloved community today. And now, let us receive the gift of our opening music from Aidan and Christine, Friction Farm.
I'm not mighty like a locomotive. My arms are strong, but they can't hold back the tide. But if I raise my hand and you raise your hand, together we will be heard like no matter in this land. Raise your hand, sister. Raise your hand, sister. Please sing with us if you'd like. Raise your hand, sister. Raise your hand, sister. Raise your hand. I am not louder than the rolling thunder. I may speak, but I can't drown out the crowd. But if I raise my voice and you raise your voice, together we will be heard. We will sing above the noise. Raise your voice, sister. Raise your voice, sister. Raise your voice. Raise your hand. Raise your hand, sister. Raise your hand, sister. Raise your hand. I am not Superman, I have no superpowers. I have a strong heart, love enough to share. If I raise my child and you raise your child, in a single generation we set our differences aside. Raise your child, sister. Raise your child, sister. Raise your child. Raise your voice. Raise your voice, sister. Raise your voice, sister. Raise your voice. Raise your hand. Raise your hand, sister. Raise your hand, sister. Raise your hand. sister. Raise your hand, sister. Raise your hand.
Thank you, Friction Farm. Nasara and Sydney, please come up and help us out by lighting the chalice. Oh, bringing Mom too. That's okay. Accomplished chalice later. Thank you. Our chalice lighting words are adapted from Craig Rowland, a UU from Salem, Oregon. We breathe in the warmth of this light, its glow filling the spaces where fear and doubt reside. We breathe out the tension we carry. We release what no longer serves us. We breathe in the strength of our community, a sanctuary of diverse voices and shared purpose. We breathe out the urge to go it alone. We embrace the power of togetherness. We breathe in the courage to speak truth, even when it trembles on our lips. We breathe out the silence that holds us back. We make space for honesty and justice. We breathe in the hope of transformation, knowing we are here to build and to heal. We breathe out despair, trusting that change is born in small acts of love. As we behold this chalice, may our breaths remind us of the sacred rhythm of life, the pulse of creation, and the power we hold to shape the world around us. Thank you. Please, everyone, now rise in body or spirit as we all sing hymn number 6, entitled, coincidentally, Just as Long as We Have Breath. The word on the video screen.
Good morning.
I'm Jen Johnson, one of the religious educators here. It's coming. I'm Jen Johnson. Nice to see you all this morning. I'm here to share the wisdom story with you today, and it's a book called Wangari's Trees of Peace by Jeanette Winter. You can see the illustrations, many of the illustrations up on the screens. This is a true story about a girl who grew up in Kenya, a country in Africa, very far from here, across the ocean and more. Wangari lives under an umbrella of green trees in the shadow of Mount Kenya. What do you notice? Can we go back one slide, Simon? Great, thanks. What do you notice about her home? Can you see those pictures about where she lives? A bit. What do you see in the picture? A lot of houses. Yeah, she lives in a village with some homes. What else do you see? Say that again? Oh, you built something. Yes, that too. Yes, Nassar and Sydney. Ghosts? Goats. I thought you said ghosts for a minute there. I didn't see those. Thank you. Yes, goats. Yes. And what about in the background? What else do you see? The things taller than Wangari. Yeah, Zaylee. I heard it here too. Yeah, mountain and clouds and trees, right? We see all those trees that are growing. Wangari watches the birds in the forest where she and her mother go to collect firewood for their cooking. And in the next slide, she and her mother are gardening. They harvest sweet potatoes and sugarcane and maize, which is corn, from the rich soil that they have, and they grow it right near their home. Well, in addition to gardening and her chores at home, Wangari goes to school and is very good at her studies. When she grows older and is tall, she earns a scholarship to study in America. She travels very far from home here in the United States to study. 6 years later, after her studies are done, she returns to her home in Kenya and she sees a change. Now, what do you see in this picture? Sydney? You don't see any trees. Me neither. I just see the stumps of them. Yeah, no, sir. Yellow clouds. Oh, that's interesting. That isn't something I had noticed before. Yeah. And some houses are still there, right? Yes, that some of it is the same, but that significant difference that the trees are gone, right? She sees barren land where there's no crops growing, and the women now have to walk a long way to get their firewood that they can use for their cooking. And firewood is heavy to carry, so if you can imagine having to do that for miles and miles, that would be hard work. And what about, does anyone see any birds or animals in this picture? No, I don't either. Well, thousands of trees have been cut down to make room for the buildings, but no one thought to plant new trees to take their place. And Wangari wonders, will our home become a desert? And how does it look like she's feeling in this picture? She's sad, isn't she? You can see the tear. She's sad about how her home has changed and the missing trees. Well, even though Wangari is sad, and maybe some other emotions too we adults can think about, she also thinks about what she can do about it. I can begin to replace some of those lost trees here in my own backyard, one tree at a time. So she starts by planting 9 seedlings, and she watches those grow, and guess what? She gets the idea to plant more because they're doing so well. She starts a whole nursery, a baby tree farm of those trees in an open space, and she plants row after row of tiny trees. Does that seem like easy work? No, that's probably hard work, but she says, this is important and I'm going to do it. Well, Wangari also convinces other women in the village that planting trees is going to be a good thing, and she gives each one of them a seedling. Our lives will be better when we have trees again. We're planting seeds of hope, she says. And they plant and plant. Well, when they do this, some of the other people in the village, and in particular the government men, laugh and think, and they say, women can't plant trees. We need trained foresters to do that. What do we think of that? Yeah, thumbs down. I'm seeing some thumbs down. Yeah. Well, the women also think it's thumbs down. They think that's a silly and pretty demeaning opinion, and they ignore the laughter. They keep planting. Wangari pays them a small amount for each seedling that continues to grow. This is their first money that they've ever earned, even though they've worked their whole lives planting gardens and things like that, tending to the home. They've earned money for these trees. Well, more people notice the trees growing, and it spreads across to other villages and other parts of her country. And soon she convinces many, many more women to plant trees. I don't know if you can see in this picture, but you can see different homes. So those are representing different villages. And then in the top right picture, you see those buildings in the city. We can plant trees and buildings in the same place, right? Those can coexist. So they keep planting. Soon, the women in other villages are planting rows of seedlings, and like a green belt, it's stretching across the land. But the trees get chopped down, the tall trees, cutting continues. Well, Wangari stands tall as an oak one day to block the people cutting the trees. We need a park more than a new office tower, she says. Well, the government men disagree, and they hit her, and they hurt her, and they send her to jail. They call her a troublemaker. Well, we know you can make good trouble too, right? She believes that also, and she says, right is right, even if you're alone. But Wangari isn't alone. The talks of the trees have spread all across the land, and those women keep planting more and more seedlings until there are more than 30 million trees where there were none. The umbrella of green returns to Kenya. And now, what does the scene look like? We're going to look again after those tree plantings. What do you see? Zaylee? Go ahead. Yeah. There's trees and blue clouds again. If you notice the firewood that they're carrying, they can get that closer to home. This looks more like one of the earlier pictures, right? Before those trees got cut down. Yeah, the land is no longer barren. They can plant there and grow their food again. Well, the whole world hears of Wangari's trees and her army of women who planted them. If you were to climb atop Mount Kenya, today you would see those millions of trees growing below you and the green that Wangari brought back to Africa. Thanks. And now, children and youth, it is time for faith formation. You can clean up your stuff and start to gather yourselves. We'll soon sing our kids out to their classes. If you're new or visiting today, adults, please walk out with your children so you can meet their group leaders and find out where to pick them up after the service is over. Thanks for listening today.
Now is the time to acknowledge our joys and sorrows. with a ritual of water and rocks. Water is the first medicine. It is the element of our feelings and emotions. For all that grieves our hearts, we add salt to brine the water in these vessels. For all that brings our hearts joy or celebration, we scatter flower petals to symbolize our happiness or contentment. These earthen vessels are solid, like our beloved community, and they compassionately hold everything we put in them. So now, as we now do, we'll be forming two lines on the edges. We'll do the two rocks at the end. And we will come along the edges here and then flow down the middle kind of once we're done with our rocks. Thank you. Please. If you have shared a joy, know that we rejoice with you. If you have shared a sorrow, know that you are held in love and care by this beloved community. And we've added these final rocks for all the joys and sorrows of our community carried by those who are not present with us today, maybe those who are at home. Our community is truly one community, whether gathered or apart.
As Matt's worship associate, I'm gifted with the opportunity to offer a personal story of a time that I embraced my power and helped to shape the world around me. Once upon a time, I taught basic English classes to sophomores at a high school in Racine, a factory town in southeastern Wisconsin. Lots of white folks of Italian heritage, about 6 or 7% black folk. Early 1970s, angry times, particularly racially. Racial tensions broke free of the reins held by school authorities one day in my school. This happened now and again at all the district high schools during those years. That day was our turn. Kids running and shouting through the halls and outside, fist fights. I distinctly remember teachers in my department lining the windows, standing along the windows, watching and as an increasing number of our school community left the building and gathered on the front lawn. More than a few of those adults, those watchers, were scared. I said to them, we need to go out there. Those are our students. And I left the office to take what authority I had, what power I had, to help calm the situation. Right away, I was needed. Just to the right of our office was a girls' bathroom. As I approached it, a black girl was pushed out by some angry white girls, shoving, maybe hitting, don't quite remember, certainly name-calling. I ran the last few steps, wrapped myself around that young black teen, putting myself between her and her tormentors, and spoke clearly to those other teenagers, get away, leave her alone, get out of here, go, go. And they left. I was a teacher, wasn't I? Right. When the hallway had cleared, I walked out of the school with my companion. Once outside, she fled to find safety and friends. And there, on the front lawn, I wandered aimlessly amidst the commotion, radiating what power I had and speaking firmly, reassuringly to dazed and anxious individuals. I saw some of my colleagues, teachers and staff, doing the same. I saw the others inside, behind the windows, looking out. Classes were canceled for the rest of the day. The buses came early to take students home. We were all back in our classrooms the next school day, ready to resume routine. Had anything been changed by all of that? Well, I had. I knew a bit more about myself and about teaching.
This song has a piece for all of you, and that part goes like this. Sing your song of courage. And there's 4 more parts to that. It's courage, justice, hope, and peace.
Open up your door, ask somebody in. Wage a little kindness, helping their suffering. give up just a little bit of all that you have won. You are louder, louder than a gun. Here's your part. Sing your song of courage. Get ready to take a stand. Sing your song of justice. Aim to lend a helping hand. Sing your song of hope. Light the fire of 1,000 suns. Sing your song of peace. We are louder than guns. Give that kid a second chance, benefit of the doubt. Help them find a way to fit in or look for a way out. Show them what you've learned about love and compassion. 'Cause you are louder, louder than a gun. Sing your song of courage. Get ready to take a stand. Sing your song of justice. Aim to lend a helping hand. Sing your song of hope. Light the fire of 1,000 suns. Sing your song of peace. We are louder than guns. Let go of the ancient grudge. See people as they are. Forget about the us and them. We're just dust from a single star. Practice what you preach. Be fair to everyone. 'Cause you are louder, louder than a gun. Sing your song of courage. Get ready to take a stand. Sing your song of justice. Aim to lend a helping hand. Sing your song of hope. Light the fire of 1,000 suns. Sing your song of peace. We are louder than guns. We are louder than guns. We are louder than guns. We are louder. We are louder.
Good morning again, beloved community, here in the sanctuary at UU Asheville and wherever you are online. As I said at the beginning of our service, I'm Matt Farris. I'm one of our two UU Asheville ministerial interns. And I'd like to speak with you about a very real problem we have. And I'd like to get right to it. I'm hearing a lot of fear and anxiety about our powerlessness to change what needs to be changed. I'm hearing a lot of fear and anxiety about our responsibility, our ability to respond when it comes to the vast powers coalescing to diminish our culture's integrity, its goodness. Like a healthy ecosystem, our collective integrity demands the wellness of the whole that we are all essential parts of. As with a healthy ecosystem, the diversity of our parts must be healthy for our whole to thrive. Today, we are especially concerned for the parts of our whole that are weakened and sickened by the rampant misuse of power we witness every day. In response, my simple prophetic message to you is this: we must embrace our power and use it wisely. We must embrace our power and use it wisely to promote the health of our sacred little part of our broader ecosystem. And that means starting with yourself, your innate power to help you thrive. You are, in fact, responsible to your own health and wellness. Yes, we must embrace our power and use it wisely to promote the health of our family and our friends. Our gifts and abilities, our medicine, our love. These are extraordinary powers that we can and should use to help this congregation and Asheville and the groups we're devoted to. Western North Carolina and North Carolina and the nation. Yes, these too, are sacred parts of our ecosystem. And onward toward the wellness of the sacred whole. Beloveds, as we embrace our power and use it wisely, it's essential that we use something like an ecosystem metaphor to guide our sense of our responsibility to promote health and wellness. We are responsible to the whole, but we do not have the power to ensure or guarantee the health of the whole. This is the good news and the bad news of our actual power, and we shouldn't feel guilty about the limitations of our power. I care deeply about the religious and spiritual health of this country, but my ability to promote that is finite. It is finite, yes, but that limitation is simply a matter of scope. If I focus on doing my part, I have faith that the ripple effect of my choices can and will promote goodness for the whole. But my friends, it's not only a matter of faith for me. This is how complex nonlinear systems actually work. Local, even minute expressions of power and influence can have stunning, distant effects. The Lakota have a phrase for this: Mitakie Oyasin, all my relations. Everything is sacred, and we are all related. My behavior has an effect on all my relations. In the 1970s, Edward Norton Lorenz, a meteorologist and mathematician, coined the term butterfly effect to describe this very real phenomena. Essentially, Lorenz was able to demonstrate how minute influences, like a butterfly flapping its wings, can significantly influence a massive weather system like a tornado or a hurricane. My point is that we can have a relatively direct, linear effect locally, starting with ourselves, but our expressions of power can have a seemingly outsized effect. Sadly, because of the way complex nonlinear systems work, we cannot know if we flap our wings a certain way, we'll inaugurate, a political climate of justice nationwide. We can't know that we do that. Joe's gonna really try hard, and hopefully it'll get there, but we can't know this. But if we shift the scope of our limitations, the scope of our concerns, we can feel more empowered to effect real, necessary cultural transformation, at least locally. Yes, we can help influence the health and wellness of the whole, but our efforts will have a more efficacious and discernible effect nearby if we act in meaningful ways locally. As many of you know, I'm a student in the process of ministerial formation. I spend a good deal of time learning about, studying, and considering the meaning of ministry. One of the most vital things I've learned about UU notions of ministry is that we all have our own ministry. Our ministries are determined by our character, our gifts and abilities, the skills and tools we've cultivated, and the ecosystems we exist in. Now get this, James Luther Adams, a UU parish minister and probably the most influential UU philosopher of the 20th century, famously spoke of a priesthood and prophethood of all believers. That's right, a priesthood and prophethood of all believers. I know that this language may feel odd or even icky, but hear me out. For Adams, this priesthood and prophethood of all believers constitutes what he calls a radical laicism. What we call the laity is most of you, anyone who isn't formally a cleric, a person whose title is minister. The word laity comes from the Greek laos, which means citizen or people. So what Adams means by radical laicism is both simple and sublime. We are all priests and prophets, and we have a radical responsibility to embrace our power and realize our ministry. To conclude, we are all called to be authentically powerful as agents of spirit. We are called upon to be authentically powerful agents of spirit in society, agents of and in the natural world, the material world, to manifest the good here and now. Each of us must embrace the loving power we share with the good, to collaborate with the good, and make goodness real. Our individual and collective responsibility is to powerfully manifest, to make real the flow of abundance, love, and the good. May it be so. Please rise now in body or spirit as we sing hymn number 298, Wake Now, My Senses.
amazing how the music just seems to echo the messages. Wonder how that happens. This is the time in the service when we like to invite visitors to stand and briefly state your name and where you're visiting from. Please wait for an usher to bring you a microphone before speaking, and we'll get to know you better, we hope, during coffee hour. So for now, just let us know who you are and where you're from. Would any people like to stand, have a microphone brought to them? Tell us your name and where you're from.
Hi, I'm Jeremy, visiting from Los Angeles.
Welcome.
Hi, my name is Eva, and this is Marla. I've been a lifelong UU, and I'm here to find a congregation while I'm at college.
Welcome.
My name's Chris Hope, my husband El Tuttle. We came in yesterday from West Virginia, and we're spending the week to buy a home.
And we are members of the UU Church in Marietta, Ohio.
My name's Sean. This is my fiance Ashley, and we live here in West Asheville, and we are looking for a congregation. So nice to meet you all.
Yeah, welcome.
Hi, I'm Debbie Meyer, and I'm visiting from St. Petersburg, Florida.
Cool. Any others? Well, we appreciate all of you who have stood and introduced yourselves. Now, where is Trevor? Oh, Trevor. Oh, there is Trevor. Everyone, take a moment to wave at him. Hey. Trevor is our connections coordinator, and he would love to meet with you visitors, or anyone actually, after the service during coffee hour, especially if you have questions. Trevor loves to answer questions. Our announcements have all run as slides at the beginning of the service, but if you missed them, you can look into the Thursday edition of the weekly e-news, as everything is put in there, plus a few other things. I guess my mother would say, plus the kitchen sink. So if you don't receive the e-news, just ask an usher after the service how to sign up, or it's really pretty simple. You go online, you email information@uuasheville.org and say, give me that newsletter. Our community plate recipient this month is RiverLink, an organization that's been working for over 35 years to restore and revitalize the very ancient French Broad River that runs through our town and its watershed. In a time of changing climate, this work seems more important than ever. And we have RiverLink's executive director, Dr. Lisa Raleigh. Her PhD is in environmental science hydrology, and she's going to share a bit more about their activities. Welcome, Lisa.
Thank you so much for having me and for RiverLink today as Community Plate. I'm actually a UU member up in Swannanoa Valley at Black Mountain. So I'm here today instead of there, but I'm so appreciative. That introduction was perfect. My colleague Susan, Andrew, and I, and some other friends and board members here have this amazing organization that we get to steer and shepherd. And it came with this really unique mission that our founder 35 years ago recognized, that in order to promote kind of the care and well-being and the environmental well-being of the French Broad River and its watershed, you really needed to factor in the economic part also and bring people to the river. And to do so for all. We have a huge commitment to equity and inclusion and removing barriers that may make it not a watershed for all. So pre-Helene, we're kind of marching along, doing our great work, building greenways and river parks and running a youth education program. And we're an accredited land trust conserving land, and we advocate for green infrastructure and stormwater management in our water resources program, and have this pretty yummy organization and just making great headway. And then Helene happens, and our rivers were just at the heart of this. And so today we remain really committed to our programmatic areas because they're as important and relevant as ever. But we also have an extraordinary commitment to the recovery of our place, of the communities that live alongside the rivers of the watershed, and to really just advocate for our rivers in our return. And so thank you for thinking of us when you look at environmental organizations to join or support. We're really leaning forward. We want to make sure our rivers have a voice at every decision-making table to make sure they're part of our recovery and comeback, because they've experienced extraordinary damage when we have urban interfaces in our floodplain. Today's whole service was perfect because it kept talking about the care of the planet. One of the things that drew me so much to the UU Church in Black Mountain was the commitment to climate change and to the planet. So it aligns so perfectly with our professional work. But we're just advocating for the restoration of riparian zones. The story earlier today was perfect about the trees. Like, our rivers are meant to have trees on their banks. And if so, their banks hold and they protect us from velocity of floodwaters. We've got to make more way for our rivers. We can't be fully in their floodplains and want a different outcome. And so we have an opportunity as we rebuild to think about that and look at how we might be able to make some room. So thank you for having me. Thank you for the UU's commitment to the planet. And just thank you for thinking of RiverLink in our ongoing months and years of recovery. So I really appreciate it.
Thank you. At this time, you can donate online or by check. Just make sure that you write RiverLink or Community Plate in the memo line. Also, 50%, one half of the cash donations today will be given to RiverLink. Do I go on? The work and ministries of this congregation are only, entirely, you better hope I didn't read too much of the thesaurus, 100% supported by the generosity of our members and friends. We enjoy celebrating your generosity every Sunday with music and thanks. You make us possible, and we thank every one of you for doing that. The offering will now be gratefully collected.
Got a little work to do around my house. Dust bunnies in the corner, big enough to scare a real mouse. Nothing's gonna get clean around here if I don't do my part. I got a little work to do. I guess I better start. I got work to do. I guess I better start. I got work to do. I guess I better start. I got a little work to do around my yard. Weeds growing everywhere make tomatoes work too hard. Nothing good will ever grow around here if I don't do my part. I got a little work to do. I guess I better start. I got work to do. I guess I better start. I got work to do. I guess I better start. Around my town, cracks in public buildings might bring this whole thing down. Nothing's gonna get fixed around here if I don't do my part. I got a little work to do. I guess I better start. I got work to do. I guess I better start. I got work to do. I guess I better start. set things right round here. If we do our part, we got a little work to do. I guess we better start. We've got work to do. I guess we better start. We've got work to do. I guess we better start. I got work to do. Guess we better start. And you got work to do. I guess you better start. We've got work to do. We got work to do. We've got work to do.
For the gifts you have given and continue to give to this congregation, your presence, your time, wisdom, and resources, we are so very thankful. Now, there will be one last song from Friction Farm, and thank you, Christine and Aidan, for all that you have brought to us this morning. If we try, we can change the world, you and I. There's a teacher at my daughter's school. Somehow she makes it seem cool to like complex calculations and poetry. She gets paid, but I let her know she makes the grade when I vote to increase her salary. It's not much, but it's something I can do. Just a little thing, but if you do it too, we can make a difference if we try. Haven't tried to meet because they look and act a little differently. It might not change how people think, but sharing dinner and drinks as different is alright by me. It's not much, but it's something I can do. Just a little thing, but if you do it too, difference if we try. We can change the world, you and I. And the government for how money is made and money is spent. Well, the truth is, both of them are us. I will act the way I think, help people swim instead of sink, share the joy of being generous. It's not much, but it's something I can do. Just a little thing, but
us if we try. We can change the world, you and I. We will change the world, you and I.
Thank you so much, Friction Farm. We have one quick final message from our fundraising team, and Joe's is flapping hard for the fundraising team. We appreciate you, Joe.
Glad somebody does. You all have met us, obviously, already. Jenny, who's out, no, Jenny's over there. Thank you, first of all, for the bunny breakfast. In the week that you helped us, we more than doubled our commitment to folks who were coming. That's the work you did for us. We don't want your money, but if you want to give it to us, great. You want to come and be a part of these things. But we had more than 50% of the folks who came were not from here. That's what we're here to do. We're taking your work out there, and that's what we have been asked to do, and you guys helped immensely. But we're asking for that again. I don't want your money, unless you want to join us. But we're having our next event, May 3rd, auditions for Asheville's Got Talent. And I know there's talent in this room. I know it, I've seen it. Join us. There is a $200 prize for the winner of the performance. We're not fooling around, folks. We're here to have fun. We are the fundraising committee. But we need you to take these flyers and do what you did last time. Put them in your coffee shops in your local places. Get the information off of the social media, share it on yours, because when you do that, we make a difference. I was told several stories, and particularly by Jenny, who met with these folks. There were several people who were overwhelmed to tears at the welcoming community that you offer. I am it right now. You're incredible people. Let's keep doing it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joe. We are going to now do our benediction, but we're going to do it a little bit differently this time. I'm going to ask for your help. I always do this dedication of merit as a benediction because it is our way of offering good energy back from this wonderful place out into the world. So you will hear me say, and we remain in the state of presence. And when I say, and we remain in the state of presence, I want you to give me a big, long ah. Ah. Then, when we're done, we're going to send that ah on its way with a big clap. All right? May the benefits of this act and all acts be dedicated unto the complete liberation and supreme enlightenment of all beings everywhere, pervading space and time. So mote it be. May the benefits of practice, ours and others, come to fruition, ultimately and immediately, and we remain in the state of presence. Please rise now in body or spirit and sing our special UU Asheville closing song, after which you're invited to join in Sandberg Hall for social time. Long time son, everybody.
Hold for your turn.